Hello, I'm Jason. I spend the majority of my time, my working life in Luton schools, working with 11 to 16-year-olds for a local charity called LCET. I work with a team of incredible people who are passionate about transforming young people's lives because of the love of God shown to them by those who know Him. At LCET, we often find ourselves working with young people whose schools have given up on them, whose parents are at their wits' end, and as a result, young people who've given up on themselves. You recognize young people like this. They're the ones in isolation at school. They spend as much time in detention as they do in maths, and they've made an art form out of interrupting their teachers. On our worst days, they're the young people we hope don't come into our youth group. What do you do about these young people that you secretly hope don't come into your youth group? I wonder what your deepest concerns are about them. You might fear that they're carrying knives, or that they have so much energy they're bouncing off the walls, or that they might be disruptive in that Bible study you've spent hours and hours and hours perfecting. Or there might be a bad influence on the young people that you're already working with, getting them into all kinds of trouble. When these young people darken the doors of your youth group, do you just try to contain them, or should you be trying to be creative in engaging them and challenging them? Meet Jordan. When I met him, he was exactly the kind of young person I knew would be a nightmare to work with. For a start, he was wearing a purple tracksuit. Underneath this purple tracksuit was a grey tracksuit. And underneath his grey tracksuit was, believe it or not, a pair of jeans. I just did not get this. It was like he was trying to wear all his favourite clothes at the same time. And this is a great metaphor for the many layers to Jordan. What was on the surface was confidence and bravado. But underneath, he was crippled with self-doubt and pain. And this stuff was like a straitjacket, which was preventing him from being and becoming all he could be. And so I think our first challenge is to create a challenge for these young people. Because being able to strip away these layers is the key to seeing change in young people like Jordan. You do this by submerging them in an environment that both scares and excites them, that challenges and inspires them. A lot of youth work that we do is way too safe, and we need to add some danger and excitement to what we do. The benefits are both for us and the young people that we serve. At LCET, we created Survival School because we believed God was inviting us to engage with some of the hardest to reach young people living some of the most difficult lives. We took a group of these young people to the last place they would expect to be, the forest. Jordan and his mum came to our office, and I explained about the adventure to the forest that we had planned. And I explained that they would swap their mobile phones for knives and saws, that they would prepare and eat rabbits, pigeons, and fish, that they would sleep in a shelter that they built themselves, that they would learn to navigate using the stars, they'd recognize and eat plants, and spend hours perfecting the art of trapping and snaring live animals. I couldn't have been more excited. We took 14 of the most challenging young people in Luton into the forest for 2 whole days. We swapped their mobile phone for a knife and a saw, and under professional supervision, we entered deep into the forest. And I was so excited about this, Jordan thought it was a terrible idea. And then I realized it was time for me to be the alpha dog. I had to break the age-old youth work principle of voluntary participation that us youth workers hold so dearly onto. And I said to Jordan, I looked him straight in the eye, and I said, "You're coming with us." And he looked at me straight in the eye and said, "Oh no, I'm not." Anyway, I won that debate, and Jordan came with us. And I think as youth workers, we need to be really clear about the journey that we're inviting young people on if we're expecting them to engage with it. Can you articulate exactly what it is you want for the young people that you work with? And do they know that? Do you know where you want to take them? Do they know where you want to take them? And if not, what makes you hide it? Is it something that you're ashamed of? Are we ashamed of the reason why we really work with young people? We told the young people that we were working with exactly what we wanted for them. The forest was an alien environment for these urban young people. And the skills that they were to learn, the rules that they had to pick up, there was new experiences for them to be had. And school can be a lot like that for young people. They don't always get taught the rules for survival. The skills they needed to learn in the forest were the skills that would help them in school. They needed to know boundaries and to realize that boundaries were the key to their success. Sometimes as Christian youth workers, we're too nice with the young people that we work with. As Christians, we're obsessed with being nice, and young people tend to get away with murder. The consequence of this is that they don't take us and what we stand for seriously. Unless our boundaries are clear and firm, I think we're letting down the young people we work with in a big way. Part of showing love is strong boundaries, and it shows the young people that we truly do care for them. Survival school was an experience that broke them down and then rebuilt them afterwards. They were clear that if they ever needed to talk, we would be available for them, even when survival school was over. I think we need to do whatever it takes to build trust, and young people will let us lead them. If you can show young people that you're not afraid to lead them and that your leadership is fair, they will trust you. Sometimes, to gain their trust, you might have to give trust first. So, we gave them knives. I hadn't seen... Catch up. I hadn't seen Jordan since May when survival school finished. And just last week, in fact, his school phoned me up, his head of year. And she said that he was refusing to budge until he spoke to a member of our team. And so I raced into Jordan's school. And before I could say anything, he said, "I hope this is okay. But you said if I ever needed to talk to you, then you would be available to do that." And then this tough Year 10 lad opened up all about his fears and the situation he was finding himself in. Through survival school, Jordan opened up. Stories like this one are waiting to happen with the young people that you work with. If you have any questions or comments, rebuttals or rebukes, my contact details are on the screen, and the conversation continues here at the summit. So my challenge to you today is, what are you going to do about the young people you hope don't come to your youth group? Thank you so much.